This is Zheng Jun, a Chinese rock singer who would create a graphic novel about a Tibetan dog wanting to become a rock star. I don't know if there's an official English translation or anything, but what I do know is that this graphic novel would later be used to create this animated movie, which is what this video is about. Rock Dog is a movie directed by the same guy who directed this movie. Before John Cena came along, the movie had a budget of $60 million, animated by the same people who animated the turkeys.
That's right. We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu.
In the Book of Life, and was apparently the most expensive Chinese finance animated production, and yet it flopped. In addition to that, not even big ones like Shay Frillish, The Irish Guy, and Gunnar Spark have made videos about it. There are reviews saying that the movie is good but mediocre, and some compared this movie to Zootopia, Kung Fu Panda, and Sing. Firstly, Zootopia is not even about singing, Kung Fu Panda is self-explanatory, and Sing is about a singing competition, whereas Rock Dog is about a dog leaving his hometown to pursue his dreams of becoming a musician. As someone who had seen the movie when it first came out, in America specifically, I thought it was pretty neat. I don't remember why 13-year-old me even wanted to watch Rock Dog in the first place, but for this video, why not go through the movie again and see if it's exactly what I remember it to be, since you can watch it for free. And yes, I will be doing a plot summary, just like all the other videos. Because I genuinely wanted to talk about this movie, and I know most of you guys have never seen this movie, so that's why I'm doing a recap first. The movie opens up with a glorious 2D animated segment of Fleetwood Yawk, voiced by Ben from Barnyard and Mayor Wild West, telling us a story of a village in Snow Mountain protected by this Mastiff, Kampa, who was voiced by Omni-Man, and Cave Johnson, and J. Jonah Jameson, and Stanford Pines, and Whiplash, and Tenzin, and the Yellow M&M. Get it? Because they're voiced by J.K. Simmons? And the main character of the story is Luke Wilson Spody, who is also Lightning McQueen's brother. The village in Snow Mountain is resided by mostly sheep, best known for making wool, playing music, and living a happy life. Until the wolves came around, that Omni-Man used his paw powers to drive them away.
Maybe this time you'll learn.
And kept it that way by building a fake army, because apparently there are no other Mastiffs in this world. And then he decided to ban music because it's distracting when the wolves could be anywhere. But why are the wolves after the sheep of Snow Mountain? To eat them. I guess in this world of anthropomorphic animals, eating animals is still a thing, and then the rest of the movie is animated in 3D, which is not bad, just not groundbreaking animation. Anyways, here we have Bodhi trying to reach for the instruments that are locked up when he remembers he has somewhere to be.
You and me will check in later, huh?
First few minutes in, and he's already broken the fourth wall. We then get this cool scene of Bodhi walking around seeing what the village is like, as he's gathering the sheep for a job they have to do, which is to dress up like a Mastiff and stand there for hours, just to keep the wolves away.
If the enemy thinks there's an army here, they won't invade. We've been over this.
Cave Johnson expects Bodhi to be the next guard or protector as he tries to teach him how to use his paw powers, but he seems to be struggling to find the fire. And this is the part where I have to ask, are there really any other Mastiffs in this world? Because so far, based on the fact that the sheep have to wear these costumes 24/7, there seem to be only two protecting this village. And what's the story behind this deadly Mastiff, Paul? Was it taught by past generations or something? Is it possible to teach the sheep how to use it though? Or is it something only Mastiffs can learn? Or maybe I could just shut the fuck up since this is a kids movie. The unfortunate thing about these sheep is that they're basically kinda dumb.
Sheep squad, oh no.
And even one mention of wolves can easily break them apart. Cutting to Bodhi chasing a bunch of birds, taking away the head of the costume. A plane comes by, conveniently dropping a bunch of stuff, which includes the radio. Out of curiosity, Bodhi decides to tune into it.
Drum Alert Nation, I'm your host, Killer Keemstar.
I'm in the thick of it.
until he discovers this song. I'm not sure if I should be playing the whole thing due to copyright, so I would implore you to listen for yourself, because as a guy who currently listens to mostly metal, this song kinda slaps. I like how the visuals showcase Bodhi enjoying the music. Also, this was me when I first discovered Toho music. Turns out, that song was played by a British Rockstar legend, Angus Scattergood, who is also that one car from Cars 2. Which kinda makes sense, considering that they're British.
Yee-haw, partner.
Through the radio, Angus is telling his life story of how he found his band from Rock and Roll Park, which is a place where people gather to play music. Rock and Roll Park? Linkin Park? While listening to the radio, Bodhi grabs his guitar to play his heart out, and that is when Angus says this.
Play your guts out and never stop. Even when your dad says stop, don't stop.
You know, Angus Scattergood kinda reminds me of the lead singer of Black Sabbath or something, I don't know. I've only listened to at least one song from them. Anyways, Bodhi decides to tell his dad that he wants to become a musician, but his dad says no. But Bodhi is really persistent on becoming a musician, even rallying up some sheep to play alongside him.
Hey, not bad, huh?
I like how Ben from Barnyard is talking to us, the audience. Later, J. Jonah Jameson comes up with a plan to stop Bodhi from playing music by dressing up as a wolf to scare him, but ends up causing a panic and the entire village is in chaos. But after Ben from Barnyard convinces him to let Bodhi follow his dreams, he reluctantly decides to let him go to the city to pursue his dreams of becoming a musician. The whole village bid farewell to Bodhi before setting off to the city. Can I just say that Fleetwood Mac is like one of the most wholesome characters in the movie? He's like this one wise grandpa we never had, or maybe just Uncle Iroh. As Bodhi is waiting for the bus, these two wolves have spotted him, and here we are introduced to the generic main big boss villain, Linux, not related to the operating system voiced by Anger. Still believing that there's an army of Mastiffs guarding the sheep village, he then orders the two to capture Bodhi. I find it funny how these wolves have been camping here for who knows how many years, for no other reasons other than wanting to eat the sheep. I would ask if there are other sheep in this world, but I feel like I'd hurt my brain trying to think about it too much. Please subscribe to my channel with bell notifications on so that my brain won't hurt as much. One bus ride later, the two wolves are already plotting to capture him, but fails miserably. Bodhi then arrives in an unnamed Chinese city because for some reason, I genuinely thought that Tibet was a country, but it's actually an autonomous region within China. And I also checked what a Tibetan city looks like. Anyways, we get this cool scenery of what the big city is like. Can you tell that this movie was also made for a Chinese audience? Later he finally finds Rock and Roll Park and hopes to find a band there. Heh, look at him go. Here are some of the bands playing in this park. Bodhi then finds two band members who look like they're in need of a guitarist.
Do not look over there, but we got a nut job at 12 o'clock.
I just looked over there.
Here we have Germer, who is voiced by the guy from Lost.
Whoa, where'd these come from?
You know what? I already like this guy. Makes sense considering that Hurley was also my favorite character. And then we have Dharma. She's voiced by Roxy Richter, Katara, and Amity. Thinking it must be fate, Bodhi tries to join them, but we then meet this leopard guy, who challenges him to a
Shred off!
which is basically a guitar battle. Of course, Bodhi loses the guitar battle, since becoming a big musician is not as easy as it sounds. Luckily, the leopard guy offers him a way to meet Angus and get a music lesson from him, mainly because it's funny to him.
And one more thing, don't forget to kiss the gate. It's good luck.
Kiss the gate. God, thanks.
Turns out Angus Scattergood resides in a big mansion in a country that is not the UK for some reason. Perhaps he got tired of living in the land of the British and decided to move to an Asian country. Anyways, it would seem like the British cat is having trouble coming up with a new song that's due in a few days, or his career is over. And here we meet his robot butler, Ozzy. Oh, so that's where the name comes from. Although, where are his bandmates though? Like, he said he found a band at Rock and Roll Park, but we never get to see his bandmates literally anywhere throughout the entire movie. Like, did his bandmates quit or retire prior to the movie? Is he currently pursuing a solo career, or was he lying through his teeth? While he's struggling to come up with a new song, Bodhi arrives at his house and does the most logical thing by trespassing into his private property and somehow manages to pass through security. Bodhi then rings the doorbell and attempts to ask him for a music lesson.
Just hang on a moment. We just got news through my MPs here that Mr. Scattergood would love nothing more than to be your music teacher.
So, he steps onto the welcome mat. But we all know Bodhi won't give up that easily. Meanwhile, it appears that Lennox owns a fighting ring in Smash Bros, and he yells at his two henchmen for failing to capture Bodhi.
What, you didn't get one for me? That's messed up, guys.
The next day, Angus Scattergood wakes up in this comically large bed for some reason. Who the fuck owns a bed like that? An idea for a new song just came into his head as he rushes out to get his idea out, but not before being interrupted by Bodhi singing. You know, I thought his studio would 100% be soundproof. Like, why is the window there? He then goes outside to tell him off, but not before getting locked out of his house. And Ozzy is too busy watching Hazbin Hotel or something. Angus and Bodhi then gets chased by a mob and hides inside the dumpster.
I think they're gone.
Angus then complains to Bodhi about how he's ruining his life or something, and realizing that the two don't have cash on them, which kinda makes sense. He just woke up and rushed out right away. They try to make money for a cab without being recognized. The two wolves have spotted Bodhi yet again, and accidentally captures Angus Scattergood.
You kidnapped Angus flipping Scattergood? You didn't even get the right species!
Because the big boss didn't like things British, he took away their 401k and health plan, and then they proceeded to send him back home.
You know what kind of a fool you made me look like back there?
Meanwhile, back at Snow Mountain, you can see that the sheep are too brain-rotted without Bodhi. Back to Angus Scattergood, he is still struggling to come up with a new song when Bodhi starts playing music outside of his house again.
That is not actually awful.
That is when he realized that Bodhi has potential to help him create a new song. So he decides to let him inside his house and give him a music lesson. He shows him his humble abode, his old British tour bus, and his big-ass guitar collection, and he just found the perfect guitar for Bodhi. As Bodhi is trying to learn music, he then thinks about what will make the general audience feel good, and the moment he sees Snow Mountain, he realizes that it feels not sad, not angry, but
Glorious.
Glorious. Yeah, that'd do.
And then we get this montage of the two writing and creating a song together about how glorious the mountain from Celeste is or something. I'd say that this was genuinely a nice montage until something inside of Bodhi is slowly firing up, and then this happens.
Rock and roll.
Bodhi may have accidentally messed up Angus's studio, but that doesn't matter. He has finally completed his new song, and Bodhi just finished his first music lesson. Bodhi comes back to Rock and Roll Park, and as everyone is tuning to the radio,
Americans.
I go to the door and there was nobody there.
What?
Angus Scattergood takes full credit of the new song and never mentions Bodhi.
He didn't mention you. Why not? Oh, that's right. Because the dude doesn't know you exist.
Then it starts to rain, he becomes devastated, and Dharma and Gurmer feel sorry for him.
I believe you, dog.
When Ozzy stares blankly at Angus, seemingly guilt-tripping him about what he did to Bodhi, he later regrets taking full credit from Bodhi and goes into his old British tour bus to find him.
It's guilt trip, that's what it is.
As Bodhi is sitting on a bench, having doubts about his dreams, a pack of wolves then approach him, surrounding him until they accidentally shoot each other. and then Bodhi gets captured. We then have this interrogation scene where Linux tries to get information about the Mischief army, which Bodhi sluggishly resists. And that is when he accidentally reveals the sheep army.
Sheep army.
Sheep army? Sheep army, sheep army, sheep army. Sheep army.
Ba 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 ba.
As Dharma and Gurmer went to find Bodhi, Angus Scattergood shows up, and they find out that the wolves have captured him, after getting a call from his agent.
Ian, what? Something's come up. I've got to do this.
He, Dharma, and Gurmer hops onto the bus to find Bodhi. Bodhi has been put onto the ring with the grizzly bear, and seeing that the wolves are on their way to Snow Mountain, Bodhi comes up with a plan to escape the ring. Bodhi then reunites with Dharma and Gurmer and asks Angus Scattergood to drive them to Snow Mountain.
What the?
He then gives Bodhi the guitar as a form of apology.
Just signed the back of it. See? That makes it more valuable. Ozzy normally does that, but I've done that to make it real.
The wolves then arrive at Snow Mountain and successfully capture Stanford Pines, and then the rest of the villagers, hiding in a totally secure place.
Boo!
As everyone's about to be eaten, Bodhi comes in just in time to stop them.
Let everyone go! Or else this. I don't know why.
As the wolves are chasing him, Gurmer comes up with a genius plan and...
What? That was your plan?
The chase scene goes on for a while until he gets cornered by the wolves, and that is when Bodhi decides to play his heart out and show off the true power he's unlocked. I'm sorry, but I just find it funny how his solution to being cornered is to just play music. But it's still a nice moment. Apparently his powers can also make things levitate, while also making it look glorious, as he pushes away the wolves and frees the sheep. And then Whiplash blows Linux away, and thus, Bodhi saves the day, Tencent becomes proud of his son, everyone celebrates his victory, and Ben from Barnyard
They'll untie me sooner or later.
breaks the fourth wall again. At the end, the official song is being played live at a concert. The wolves have been forgiven. The grizzly bear roars at the leopard guy. Bodhi, Dharma, and Gurmer forms a band together, and Angus Scattergood properly gives them the spotlight they deserve. Also, isn't it wholesome for Bodhi to have some of the villagers play alongside him? And it works since System of a Down has Armenian influence to their songs, and Bloodywood implementing traditional Indian sounds to their music, and that is the end of the movie. Yeah, you can tell that I am not a movie reviewer type of guy. I just simply want to talk about stuff I like and dislike, and find funny. Now, I've never read the original graphic novel, so I don't think I can speak on whether or not the movie does a great job of adapting it. I'm sure someone else can do a better job than me, though from what I've heard, Bodhi's dad supposedly died in the comic. I mean, there are animated movies that are no stranger to characters getting killed, but if this is true, and Bodhi's dad actually got killed in a movie, then I'm pretty sure Rock Dog would take a much different turn. Also, according to this article, Bodhi's original name was actually Metal. But there's a difference between rock and metal. And this panel clearly shows that he is a true rocker. But other than that, the movie itself is not really that bad. It's just a generic movie about a dog following his dreams while defying his father. So at best, the movie is still an enjoyable watch. I love how the 2D animation looks very fluid at the beginning. The visual style does a good job of setting the tone of the story. The 3D animation, on the other hand, again, it's not bad, it's just not groundbreaking, like Rango. I would like to mention that Tibetan Mastiffs usually have a very big hair, so I'm guessing that's why the animators had to make their hair short, for budget reasons. Also, throughout the movie, you ever notice that the most common animals you see are dogs, cats, sheep, wolves, foxes, rabbits, alligators, pigs, hippos, moles, sometimes goats, a snow leopard, a yak, and a bear? Like, are there any other types of animals in this movie? Like rats?
Where the rats?
Elephants, cows, chickens,
Chicken jockey!
or monkeys? Like, I know this movie is on a budget, but again, I'm not seeing a lot of variety. And not to mention I have not seen a single panda in this movie, since this is basically a Chinese movie made in America. I don't know if it's just me, but although the story mainly focuses on Bodhi's journey, I'm kinda disappointed that Dharma and Gurmer didn't really play a major role, despite being in the promotional posters. Like at best, Gurmer broke the bus just to distract the wolves, probably, and Dharma, I honestly can't think of anything important she did. As for the other characters, Angus Scattergood was the sole reason Bodhi wanted to become a musician. Kampa, I feel like he's one of those generic disappointed fathers, until at the end. Fleetwood Yak is the reason Bodhi came to the city. These two wolves are the funny henchmen. The leopard guy is just a douche, and Lennox have no other motives other than wanting to eat the sheep. The soundtrack, comedy, and pacing, I can't think of anything else to say, and the movie has a decent cast. I just found out that Kellen Goff voiced the rock show announcer. I just thought it'd be cool to mention that. And the fact that J.K. Simmons is in this movie, surely this movie was going to be good, right? Oh yeah, I already mentioned that, and I didn't think this movie would be good enough to win an award in China. I wouldn't be surprised if Rock Dog flopped because it came out a couple months after Sing, but it also flopped in China because apparently some big theater chain in China attempted to sabotage the release of Rock Dog for some reason. I'm still struggling to wrap my head around it, so I'll link this article in the description if you want to further read. In the end, despite the movie being a box office failure, Rock Dog still manages to get 2 more sequels. Wait, Rock Dog has a sequel? I honestly had no idea that Rock Dog even had a sequel, despite its reception. Like, this shit must have flown under my radar for several years until I randomly decided to make this video. But out of curiosity, I decided to watch these two, and they fucking suck. Like, what the fuck is this? Why are they worse than the first movie? How the fuck did this even happen? Oh no. Originally, I was going to cover all 3 of these movies at once for this video, but that might take too long. And I think both Rock Dog and 2 deserves a video of their own. So if this video does very well, I will be doing a follow-up video. Unless Shay Frillish, the Irish guy, Gunnar Spark, or my boy Dumpsville does it first. So with that being said, thanks for watching, follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky, and now would you excuse me? I'm gonna go listen to some metal.